Hello, this is Attorney Will Solomon, candidate to serve as a district court judge in Edgecombe, Nash, and Wilson County. A little bit about who I am. I'm born and raised in Rocky Mount, graduated from high school at Southwest Edgecombe in the class of 1996. I left here after that and I attended undergraduate school at North Carolina A&T State University. Got my bachelor's degree in economics there in the year 2000, and I went to the law school at Campbell back in 2003 is when I came out of there. After my first year at Campbell, I had an opportunity to come back to Rocky Mount, and I interned with my friend then attorney Lamont Wiggins. He's now one of our sitting Superior Court judges. I worked with him that summer and continued our professional relationship. I worked with him the following summer. He hired me after I graduated from law school, and I practiced law in his office for maybe 3.5 years. After that, I started my own practice here in Rocky Mount, the Solomon Law Firm, actually right down the street from where I'm speaking to you from now, just a couple blocks away on the corner of Grace and Western here in Rocky Mount. So I've been a business owner and a lawyer here now for the last 15 years. My wife, Felicia, and I have been married for those same 15 years. We have two great kids, William III, he's 13, and Ananda, she is 8. I want to talk to you a little bit about the way our court system is organized. There are two different branches of the courts in North Carolina. You have the appellate courts and the trial courts. As far as our trial courts go, they're organized really in three different categories. You have your magistrate, you have your district court, and your superior court. I'm asking to serve you as one of your district court judges. Let me talk to you a little bit about what the district courts do, the role that I've played in those courts over the last 17 years. Our district courts, you can kind of break them down into three different categories. They handle civil issues. That's where a person has an issue with another person, whether it's a contract dispute or a marital dispute, custody of children, that sort of thing. Then you have the criminal side, where the courts manage disputes where the state of North Carolina has charged someone with committing a crime. Then you have the side of those courts that not a lot of people know about. That's an area where I work quite a bit, and I want to take a few moments to talk to you about that for educational purposes and to kind of explain to you one of the reasons I'm asking for your vote. The juvenile courts in North Carolina are very important. They're divided into two categories. You have juvenile delinquency court. That's where it's alleged that someone under the age of 18 years old has committed a crime. And the purpose of that section of juvenile court is to take that child through a process that is hopefully rehabilitative, so they will never come back into the court system again as an adult. Then you have the side of juvenile court where kids come into the system through absolutely no fault of their own. If the Department of Social Services spends time working with a family and they realize that services are needed and that there's a possible case of child abuse or child neglect, they can file a petition alleging that children have been abused or that they've been neglected. Once that petition is filed, the case winds up in the district courts. Once that case is in court, there are three different parties. You've got the Department of Social Services, they're the folks who filed the petition. You have the parents, and then you have the children. It can be anyone from a newborn to an 18-year-old who now is having decisions about where they're going to live, what their custodial situation will be, made by judges, made by lawyers trying to reach agreements, but yet that child or those children are there through absolutely no fault of their own. When the child is there, they are a full party to those type of cases, meaning they have a right to be heard, they have a right to present evidence, they have a right to participate in those proceedings. When they participate, they are represented by a trained guardian ad litem who goes through a period of training that the state of North Carolina prescribes. And my office for the last 3 years has represented the office of the guardian ad litem. So for the last 3 years, one of my jobs has been to represent the interests of every abused and neglected child in Edgecombe, Nash, and Wilson County. That job is something I take very seriously, and it's something that a lot of people don't see. You know, when you watch an episode of Matlock or you watch Law and Order on TV, you've got a courtroom full of people who showed up to watch the drama that was going to unfold. Well, in reality, we all have jobs. People don't have the opportunity to just show up in courtrooms like you see on TV. So a lot of what happens is closed. The only people who are usually there are going to be the folks who are actually involved in those cases. So a lot of folks don't really know what happens. In that section of juvenile court where the Department of Social Services is involved, the objective in those cases is to find a permanent situation for those children as swiftly as possible, while also respecting and protecting the constitutional rights of the parents that are involved in that court. The federal law says that we are supposed to try to find permanence for those kids within a 12-month period of time. I think we do a really good job here of that here in our district. As a matter of fact, we spend time working on that particular issue. For the last 2.5 years, I have been a member of a court improvement committee that our chief district court judge chairs. In addition to myself, we have representatives from the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services in Raleigh. We have representatives from the Nash, Edgecombe, and Wilson County Departments of Social Services, representatives from the Clerk of Court's office in all three of our counties, seeing as how they handle our scheduling. And we also have representatives from the Garden ad Litem program, as well as representatives from the Parents Bar. You see, when those parents come into that side of the court system, they have the right to be represented by counsel. And so we have some of the lawyers who specialize in that particular area of law involved on that committee. The work that we do is simple. We get together, we compare how well we're doing reaching that idea of permanency within 12 months. We compare our statistics, we make sure that we're looking at the realities of each family, that we're treating each of these files like people and not just like pieces of paper, and that we focus on making sure that each of the children who come through our system can find a permanent living situation and a permanent home just as quickly as possible. That's work that I'm very proud of. It's work that I think I have more experience at than most of the lawyers in our judicial district, because I'm in that court every week. I'm in that court in Nash County, I'm in that court in Tarboro, I'm in that court in Wilson every single week. Have been for the last 3 years, and that's experience that I hope to bring to the bench. I'm asking for you for your vote on November the 3rd. If you have any questions for me, my web address is right below. You can click on that link. You can type in and ask any questions that you have of me. I'll be more than happy to respond to any emails that are sent to me. Thank you so much for your time. I'm asking for your vote on November 3rd.